Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ion Radio. I'm Ken,
I'm John.
and this is our brand new Ion Radio show, where John and I are just kind of talk about a variety of different topics. We have kind of a format we're going to follow, but John, I think we should probably tell them a little bit more than just that.
Yeah. Ken and I were just talking the other day about how I used to do way more with like Backseat Admiral and things like that. And I just haven't had the time. And we're like, why don't we just do a show together that we just talk about what's going on? So, kind of the idea with this is we're going to talk about life, hobby, what we're doing on the channel, what has happened on the channel, where we're going on the channel. And then like I don't know, once a month or something like that. And then if you guys had like a topic that you wanted us to talk about, anything's really open in the hobby world or gaming world, like we could chat about it. Or if something new came out, like Star Wars, Star Trek, BattleTech, anything like that, we could just chat about it. And yeah, or yeah, like that. Like so then it wouldn't be like a big production. We could just sit down and we could just talk.
Yeah.
Our plan is eventually maybe to do it with live with Patreon people being on it and they can chat with us while we're chatting.
Mhm.
Um, but we'll have to figure out how to set that all up and things like that. But that's kind of like my idea behind it. Do you have anything else that you want to throw in on that?
No, I think that's pretty much the bulk of it, the meat of what the Iron Radio show is going to be. I think the one thing that I kind of like about this is it gives us an opportunity to get certain news and things we want to talk about out quickly. And, it's kind of a fun experiment, I think. So I also kind of miss the podcast type format, if you will, which this isn't really a podcast, but it's a spot where you and I can talk and people can listen in and hear what we have to say.
Yeah. Because we're always busy with things. I mean, what's one of the things that's frustrating about like doing the videos, how we do them, is we film like way in advance. So by the time that it gets to you guys, we're on to the next thing. Like, some of the Madness was filmed like 6 months ago,
Yeah,
and it was just released recently.
like 2 weeks
So
ago. Yeah.
we can't talk about it really when it happens.
Hmm.
So it's hard to do like a recap of it, but like this type of thing, once we release a video and you guys can actually watch it and we won't be spoiling anything, we can chat about it then and talk about our thoughts of like how Madness is. Like today, we're going to talk about a little bit about how Madness went and what we thought was cool, what wasn't, um, and how to improve it because that's what we're always trying to do. So we hope that you guys enjoy this and we'll always answer your comments and stuff. So you can go ahead and drop them down there. So we think the first type of segment that we would like to do is like what's going on. So if you want to go first, like what's going on recently with you, Ken?
Well, okay, big things. I went into a participating local theater, so I was on stage for a weekend, and that was a huge commitment on my part, down to even shaving the beard off. So if you
Ooh,
saw, I think it was the 6 year anniversary show that just released prior, or that will release in a couple days. You'll notice no beard. This grew back in about a day and a half. And so I got to do that. A lot of work. It was interesting and fun. So yeah, work has been extraordinarily busy as of late. Just a lot of oddball things that have come up, and my attention needs to be devoted to that. We're making some changes, which I really don't want to nor can go into. But for the most part, it's just been occupying some of my time. That said, John and I, we were still getting together on a like every 2 week basis, and we're trying to get in an extra weeknight in here and there just for filming purposes. We've completed a number of different series. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's just kind of fun to be able to get together and continue to do this as we have now for over 6 years, John.
Yeah. So, we're recording this right around the time that our 6 year anniversary
Yeah.
episode is going to be released. So we're very excited about that. So we'll probably talk about that because by the time we get this edited and out, it will already be out. So,
Okay.
that was a really, really fun game.
Mhm.
For me, for those, it's been a while since I've talked about this because I think we probably talked about it a little bit at Adepticon this last year, but life has constantly been changing for both of us. And for me, um, I got a job now 2-ish years ago, and it was downtown Chicago, and it was a big career advancement for me, and I liked it. But the problem was that to do it properly, I needed to work like 50, 60 hours a week, and then it had like a 10-hour commute a week, and it just wasn't livable, if that makes sense.
Uh,
Like I wasn't having time. I was waking up before dawn to get there, and I wasn't getting home until after bedtime. So there was almost weeks that I wouldn't even see my kid because he would be sleeping when I got up, and then he would be basically in bed by the time I got home. So I need to do a change. So at the beginning of the year in March, I switched jobs and I switched to a job that's like 15 minutes from my house. And it's been amazing. So I'm not working 50, 60 hours a week anymore. And I also don't have a 10-hour commute anymore. So I think total commute is like 15, 20 minutes each way each day. So it's like nothing compared to the hour plus that it was. So with that, I was able to balance life and spend more time with my family. And after, making sure work was fine, making sure my family is fine, then Ken and I can actually get together and record because, like, when I was just so tired from working so much, like the year previous, there just wasn't time. Like, what are we gonna do? Get together? And I'm like, I'm just sleeping at war. Like, we moved, and
yeah, you
the
moved
house has
too.
been a
Yeah.
disaster, like an absolute disaster. Like pipes breaking, ceiling falling in. Like the first night, the tub leaked, and we still have the hole in that. That's gonna hopefully be repaired soon. But like, it's been a nightmare of getting it together. So I'm at a good place right now. I should find some wood because I just said I was fine, but things are going good, and I'm excited for what's going on. So that's kind of like been really busy, to summarize it, but busy's now a doable busy instead of
Mhm.
I'm not making it to next week busy. So that was a good change for me.
We also were able to, was it a week or two ago? We made a trip up to our friendly local game store.
Yes.
And we got to see Adrian. So a lot of you probably remember Adrian. He helped us out both from Chicago Uprising live streams and then our first two Adepticon live streamings for Worlds, so it's 23 and 24. We got to talk to him with him for a little bit too.
Yeah. That was actually a really fun. This is just like off the wall. My wife right now is working night shift, and I was taking care of our son Johnny. And Ken's like, I think I'm gonna go to the game store. I'm like, when? And he's like, today. I'm like, but like when? And he's like, I don't know, in an hour. And I'm like, oh, I got nothing going on today because it was like cold and rainy out. So we just drove over to Ken's, picked him up because I had the car seat, of course. And
Mhm.
then we took the trip up to the store. That was Johnny's first time in a game store, and he really, really liked it. Um, he still talks about it, and it's been over a week. How we went to Ken's and then went up there, and he's a man of the people, this little kid, and he
He
was
shook
introducing himself
everyone's
to
hand.
shaking everyone's hands and just walking up to random people, near me, and he would be like, "Hi," and no one knows how to take a 3-year-old that's saying hi to you, and they're like, "Hi," and he's like, "How are you doing?" And they're like, "Okay," and he's like, I'm very good. And then he walked off. So yeah, he's something. It's very much something.
It was
Uh,
it was a good trip.
yeah,
I picked up a bunch of Leviathan stuff because that just came out.
yeah, I could see it.
So
It's
it's right here.
right there.
Significantly smaller box than the original coffin size box from 15 years ago, which is over there. It's actually, I'm looking at it right now. It's about the same size as a Super Star Destroyer box.
Jeez, that's
In
big.
almost every, it's a little bit taller, but that's about it. So, but you got a lot more in the original Leviathan's box than you get in the new starter set. But yeah, different times. Either way, though, I'm excited to actually tear this open. There's a couple tweaks to the rules, but effectively the same game that I played from a long time ago. But no, it was a good trip. Plus, we had an opportunity just to chit chat for extra almost 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
Mhm.
One of the big issues is that Ken and I live on the south side of Chicago,
Yeah.
and that's the the good store that we go to
Mhm.
is on the north side of Chicago, so it's like an hour commute. So that's where the main like Star Wars Armada group meets
Mhm.
up and stuff for I'm gonna call it the region because it's not even like our area because
Yeah.
that's like completely different area all the way up there. So that's one of the reasons why we can't participate more in that is it's just so far
It's a
away.
hike. It is a
Yeah.
hike to get up there. So, but you know what? Like, every once in a while, we do get a chance to go out there, play a little bit of Armada, and yeah, and they're still doing that. Usually three times, three different sets of games every Sunday. So, I mean, I wish I could get out there more often, but it's a drive.
Okay, so let's just transition right into hobbying and what other type of gaming have you been doing?
Well, for me, I've been painting up mechs. A lot of that's gone up with our Hinterland series, which I know we're going to talk about. A lot of terrain that I've been printing out. Just again, Hinterlands. But then I've also decided that I've just really wanted to paint up the Turkina mech, the Jade Falcon one, which is just an absolute beast, and I like the way it looks. So it's right now on the workbench in a mid state of being painted. So I'm looking for I'm trying to figure out exactly which galaxy of Jade Falcon I'm gonna because Jade Falcon, I mean that's those are my boys. So we'll get that out eventually, and maybe it'll make an appearance somewhere just for fun. I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out.
You
Uh,
have quite a few different places that you could put it because you have all of those Jade Falcon that are painted up in the cartoon type scheme.
yes,
So you
I
could go
do.
like super cartoon scheme, or you could go to like actual type schemes.
I had a lot of fun painting up those cartoon schemes. The Kristen Redmond vulture that I put together. I mean, I really like that particular paint job. That one I thought I had a lot of fun with. But no, that was fun to do. I think outside of that, it's just a couple things that I'm printing up for future episodes of Into the Unknown and Star Trek Alliance, so that we've got some terrain instead of just flat pieces of cardboard. It's more interesting from a visual perspective, and it's fun for me when I'm doing the motion capture stuff.
Yeah. Along this with hobby, we're gonna dive into like film prep. When we were getting ready for Hinterlands, we looked at the terrain that we could be using, and we purchased the terrain for 3D printing for those maps.
Mhm.
So Ken and I both fired up our 3D printers, and we have a giant Excel sheet because we're nerds, and it's like, how many trees do we need? I think I printed like 60 some trees to paint,
Yeah,
and you have your own set of like 60 trees.
I think we
So,
have
like,
about.
theoretically, if we put two of the most trees, because I was, doing equations
uh,
because I love doing that. And so we have enough that, like, in the grassland theme for Hinterlands, we have all the maps printed,
mhm,
and we can put any two of those maps together, and we have enough trees and other things to cover that. So that was a huge project because it was like the printing, the finding it, painting 60 trees is not fun.
mhm.
Be very honest on that.
We got good
But
at it.
oh yes, 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 very good at it. And like, how fast can I do this and make
Uh,
it okay looking? Was my big thing. So we did that huge project. So
and then
that
the
was an un
flocking on the terrain also.
yes. And I did it first, and then Ken did it, and you weren't happy with the way you did it. And I'm like, well, I do it this way. And then we're like comparing notes back and
Yeah.
forth because we actually got a lot of terrain done
Mhm.
very quickly.
Actually,
I'm
I'm kind of surprised by that, actually, but
And then we were supposed to move on to the next maps, and we were both like burnt out. So
right,
we actually have to get back to that.
we do.
We have like 50%. I need to paint it, but my paint bench is very full right now. Um, but yeah, it was like what less than 2 weeks, and we had
Yeah.
like
I
8 maps
uh,
worth of terrain done.
my poor little bamboo was pretty much running nonstop for 4 days in a row.
Yes, same. I think I ran out, ordered some, and then at the end of it, I ran out and had to order more, and so I have a lot of
I
spools.
I wound up doing one of those just-in-time orders where I was looking at I'm gonna run out of filament and in like 2 days. So I put in the order and by random chance, one of the prints that I was running through, the box showed up on the front door. I opened it up, came downstairs to look at the 3D printer, and it was probably about 16 feet left to go on that spool. And so I unwrapped it, and then it got the point to where I just started feeding it right behind the end of the roll. It picked it up right away and kept going and never knew that there was a loss there. So that actually was good. I didn't have to stop, although there are probably better ways to do it. I've never tested the it paused because it's out of filament
All
feature.
the time, all the time. It works pretty good.
Okay. Well, now I
Um,
know.
so I had 3D printers first, and I don't even remember what it was. I basically fought with it all the time to get it to work. And then you purchased the Bamboo A1,
Hmm.
and I got tired of fighting with it. Like I could level it, like the stupid knobs and the springs fell out, and I'm like, how do I fix this? I had like a disaster of like I got glob, so I fixed that. So I like have fixed like all these parts, and I got to the point that I'm like, it's still not printing. So I either have to replace more parts or I just buy a new printer.
Hmm.
And the easy solution was I just decided to buy an A1. So we actually have the exact same 3D
Yeah,
printers. I think I have the AMS multi-feed system and you don't.
I do not, but I can easily add it.
Yeah,
So
I haven't used it besides just loading lots of print and then just clicking clicking the
yeah.
next one to print on it because I have all these grays put into it just so I could keep going.
Hmm.
But yeah, so we have fun with that. Right now on my hobby bench is I finally finished a project that I started like a year ago. So I took one of all of the BattleTech vehicle boxes and I painted them in a camo scheme. And when you paint in batch, it either works really well or not. So the problem with painting in batches is it takes a lot of time. When you have like 60 vehicles when you're painting highlights, even if you're just using one color at a time, that's still like an hour to get through if you spent 1 minute on each one.
Hmm.
So it's just a lot. So I finally got that project done. I think it took me almost a year because I started it right around the time that I moved in here. So I got now two of every vehicle type painted the same way so we can use it. I'm gonna have to start another one and because I have, lots because that's me. I'm probably gonna start another one and paint it in like a different camo scheme so then we can have like clearly two different forces
Hmm.
as we play, but that's going to be down the road. I painted up my mercenary for the Hinterlands camo scheme, and I really, really like it because it's not a color scheme that I have really done before. So, sometimes just bold, bright purple and pink colors are fun. So I did that,
And they look
and
good too.
they turned out way better
Yeah.
than I thought. So I was really happy with the way they came out. And that's all because I use like masking with my hairbrush. So, I can attest to this because I was sending in pictures. I'm like, here's the three different sizes of masking that I'm thinking about. What is your thought on the sizes?
Yeah.
Um, so then it looked good on it. So I've been painting those up, and right now, Blood Bowl just came out. Ken and I have actually played Blood Bowl years ago together. He introduced it to me, and it's a ton of fun. And the third edition, if you would, just came out this last week, so I picked it up and I pulled out all the stuff that I haven't painted. Oh man, that's the old one, man.
Oh,
I
I
got
got John. I got the old stuff. I've been playing Blood Bowl since the 90s. So,
Yeah, I got the brand new rule book. So, I started putting them together because I had a box of Lizardmen that just been in the box. So I'm like, I'll
mhm.
put them together, get ready for it. And apparently, my son loved them, so he keeps doing this roar of like the lizard man as he charges. So he's been super interested in it. So it's going to take me forever to get it done. I'll just be very honest because already like cutting out and gluing little tiny figurines is time consuming, but then imagine doing that with a 3-year-old on your lap that wants to help you. I will never trade it for a world because it's been a blast for me, but I get like 2 figures glued glued per night. But he's super excited. He wants to learn how to play. He's too young, but I'm gonna totally, when we get him painted up, show him how to play. Because like when Ken comes over to record, he's like, can I play too? I roll dice, which is pretty much all you need to know.
Yeah.
Um,
With Blood
so
Bowl, yeah.
so yeah, I've been doing that. So the big thing for us though is that Aces is on its way.
Yes.
You're going to be picking it up from a game store possibly tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow.
I have mine delivered in like 2 to 3 days.
Hmm.
So we are itching to get it. So as soon as we get it, we're going to start painting it up and figuring out how to run it so we can start recording it because we're both super, 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 super excited about that. But it's one of those things like there's so much we need to get done before we can do it because of painting. So,
Yeah. Paint, it's all the
um,
pre-production stuff, but that's worth a mention. That's I think part of the reason that our video content looks as good as it does, because we don't just throw some unpainted minis out on the screen and it's not just paper and everything else. We actually build up the terrain, we paint the minis, we do whatever we can to make things look good. Because that fits our presentation style. I mean, I think we said this early on. We're trying to produce content that we want to watch.
exactly.
And it fits that bill. But yeah, we're really excited about Aces. In fact, we just filmed the beta version of Aces, and we were talking, depending on when Aces is actually released, of filming another one. I don't think we're going to film another beta, John. I think we're going to jump right into the actual Aces.
It depends on how fast we can paint.
True, true.
Uh,
We may have some inspiration though, just because it'll be a new shiny in the collection for us.
yeah, I have been keeping up to date as much as I can with it. It sounds like the villains for this Aces box is going to be Jade Falcon, Rogue Galaxy. But I already have like you're figuring out how to paint your Jade Falcons. I already have Delta Galaxy and I know how to very easily paint them up. So I'm going to
Mhm.
ignore that it says Row and I'm just going to paint them up as Delta Galaxy because,
Yeah.
when you think of Jade Falcon, you think of bright green with gold accent. That to me is Jade Falcon.
Yeah.
So I'm going to paint that box up and we'll be playing Row Galaxy in Delta Galaxy schemes just because
See, I think Jade Falcon and I think white with some purples and some neon greens and some red with some, white chevrons. And
that's why you're going to paint them up the cartoon style. That's the cartoon style.
I like that. It's just, but that brings back those fun memories from 30 years ago, right? So
Oh gosh,
still,
has
I
it been
think
that
one of my
long?
favorite episodes that we did Battle Reports was that made up one from the first 5 minutes of the cartoon.
That's also because we balanced it ourselves.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
that rule book is not balanced to have any player have fun with it.
No, it's balanced to sh replicate the show.
Yeah. And it's not even like you have to be able to win. You just have to be able to hit. Like
Yeah.
when we played some of those missions, like when they were like attacking, I think it was it
Oh,
might
it's
have
some
been
colony. I forget which
with
one.
some colony, and it's like your guys are skill 6, and it's a cloudy day, and the Jade Falcons have a +3 to their defense, and you're like, so 12. Okay, I won't attack.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep blowing me up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I needed eights and you needed 12. So it
You
was,
needed like 4s. You have targeting computers and
oh, that's
pulse
right. And
lasers.
if I use enhanced imaging, it goes
Ah,
into like auto hits. So
yeah.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
this isn't fun
No.
because I can't even attack. That was very frustrating. But like now that it's one of those things, like let's fast forward a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about Hinterlands. Um, we got done with it and we realized how much of it we needed to like dungeon master after the fact.
Yeah.
So like buying mechs, right? So like if you were just playing with your friend, you would buy a mech and you just put it right in and do it. Well, we would like our mechs to be painted, so it's not like I'm going to be like, okay, mid recording, I'm going to go get a mech, I'm going to start priming it and paint it up so it's for the next one
Yeah.
and things like that. So that doesn't work. So filming has to be changed. So like we have to come up with a plan to have mechs available in case we roll to buy a mech, so then we can
Yeah.
just put it into our forces or replace a mech or have a hire on. Like there's all these things that we're like, we did not think about that, but
Yeah.
now
No,
we
we really
do
didn't. But
for the
it took us
future.
a whole contract to get there. But then see now the advantage here is once we build all this stuff and take, a month or so to put together, the next time we do filming, we can film an entire contract in one day as
I
opposed
think
to
one
three.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. BattleTech has, even with Classic, because it's only a few mechs, it's
Yeah.
been going so fast. It's been
Hmm.
so much fun. So I cannot
Oh,
wait
yeah.
for you guys to see that.
I've been having a blast with it. We'll talk more about it in probably a future episode. I know we released what the mechs look like, so you got to see John's Purpletons and you got to see my Bright Sun Pirates in the schema that's done. Catalyst puts out that urban mech at
Yes.
Origins and Gen Con. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was one of those things where I think it was just scrolling through pictures on my phone looking for something, and I saw that. And I'm like, ooh, this is exactly the color scheme I want to do. So I painted up an Irby and then got the awesome. And it was just wound up being kind of a fun little side project that you'll see on the screen. So that was kind of fun. But Hinterlands, just in general, playing it was quick. It was fun. It was exciting. And now that I've gone through it, I would completely change what I would do now.
Yes. Same.
Yeah.
No spoilers. We'll talk about it in a future episode.
Mhm.
I think that's pretty much everything for hobby and gaming stuff. I haven't played any games with anyone besides you, so
Yeah.
that's
No,
all
I've been
just for that. But
right.
I've actually gotten quite a bit of hobby stuff done, and I think I'm going to get quite a bit more with us going into winter and, not everything breaking in my house. So, with those things, I think I can actually get some hobby stuff done.
Oh, the other thing I picked up, the Thunder's Edge expansion for Twilight Imperium. So uh that was
Nice.
fun. So I have both of the TI4 expansions. So at some point, John, we're gonna have to sit down and do Twilight Imperium.
I'm down. I've played it once. It was a
We'll
lot of
change
fun.
that. We'll give you a second time, you know. And in
It
case
was
you're listening, Tim, yes, I still want to do something at Adepticon. So
if I have the time off and I'm down for that.
uh,
So, um, the one time I played it, it was max amount of players because, why not? And not a single of us have played before.
oh, that was a 12-hour game.
It was a very long game, and I like sent out videos to people to watch beforehand, and like 50% watched it, so it was like a very much so learn to play, and then it
Mhm.
lasted so long, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and someone's like, I gotta work in the morning, I gotta go. So then we're like, okay, what do we do with this space? We're close to ending this game. Okay, no one attack that person.
Well,
Oh man,
it's an epic experience. It's not
it
really a
really
game.
was. It really was. Okay, what was next on our little
Upcoming
agenda?
releases and what's coming out. So we kind of already talked about Hinterlands, and I think we're currently planning on releasing that complete straight release in January. So we'd usually do that 2 week break around Christmas and New Year's. So I think it's the second week in January. We'll have 3 episodes. So it'll be three tracks. So the first contract is 3 tracks, and I think we'll probably do a review or a overview of the whole thing. So you'll get 4 weeks of BattleTech Classic, with that fourth one being us talking about everything and how that contract ends. So I'm really
Might
excited.
actually be this show.
Actually, it probably will be the show. We'll dedicate an entire show in January just for Hinterlands. That's not a bad idea, John.
Yeah. Brilliant. Um,
On the fly.
doing it live.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so we have all that. We decided that we had it all filmed. We're just in the editing process. And whenever you release, this is like into how YouTube channels work. Whenever you release series, the longer the numbers go, the worse views it has. And that is 100% the YouTube algorithm fighting against you.
Mhm.
And so Ken came up with this idea that why not, instead of like releasing once a month or once every 2 months, why not just release it all at basically once, week after week after week?
Right.
And that's how we really consume media nowadays anyway. And like what you said, like when you watch Netflix, you don't like it's all at once
It's
usually.
all at once. When Strange New Worlds comes out with a new season, it's one episode every week on Thursday, right? So, and what do you
Well, I
do on
think
that Thursday?
Strange New Worlds is like 2 episodes on Thanksgiving, 2 episodes on Christmas, 2 episodes on New Year's. I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, I'm looking
Um,
forward to that.
but yeah, so we're gonna just drop it all at once,
Yeah.
not stringing you guys along, and then you guys can just enjoy it because there's currently Alpha Star campaigns that are out there on different channels that I watch, and they
Mhm.
haven't uploaded anything in 4 months, and I'm like, what's going on with it? Come on,
Right,
come on,
right. So
come
we
on.
want to give the full contract, and then we're making some decisions on what we want to do next. But we'll talk about that later. No spoilers. But I will say this because this isn't so much a spoiler, but we decided for the first contract, it's my forces versus John's. So you'll have our specific forces battling it out in that first three missions. So looking forward to it. We really want to see what everyone thinks about it.
Yeah, we're very excited for it. We had a lot of fun.
Mhm.
It's been 5 years since we really played BattleTech, like classic.
Well, when we were doing Classic originally, because originally that was one of the two things we wanted to do on the channel was Armada and BattleTech. And we started BattleTech. We got a few things rolled out, and then COVID hit, and we pretty much switched exclusively to Armada because that was the easiest thing for us to film. That didn't require a lot of work, and hit all the COVID buttons so that we can continue to do things. And BattleTech just kind of took a back seat. And we've had a lot of people on the channel, subscribers, fans, patrons, that have said, "Hey, when are you going to do BattleTech again?" And the answer is it's done, coming out right after into the new year.
Yep. So we're excited about that. We also have a Christmas holiday special of Armada that's coming out, which is an insane game. So you'll
Yes,
have something to look forward to that. Um, we should have our BattleTech Aces beta um like trial because we want to know how to film it. That's really what we did. That's going to be coming out soon. It's on our editing. I finished putting my parts together. Ken's gonna throw
I'm
them
working
things
on
together.
working on my
I'm
part. I can say when I think we're going to do it, but
yeah.
mm,
I'm currently trying to my little silly turntable broke the other day and I'm trying to do the light box to get the mechs good pictures of it. So gotta fix that. So hopefully that's done by the weekend.
uh,
Um so I think that's all of our releases because December is kind of a short month with holidays at the end of it.
it
So
is, and we've got a couple more rising tension things that I want to talk about, mostly in terms of the ships. We just released the cloaking video, which hopefully that helps a lot of people understand how that works. And I did confirm there was some issues in terms of what the cards were saying versus what the manual said. So I reached out to the devs. They got back to me, and what we presented is the correct rule set that we'll see in the upcoming errata. So the good news is that video will be correct, at least for their first errata after rising tensions. But I'm kind of excited just to play with some of the new toys. And I haven't broken the wings on the bird of prey yet. I keep playing with it. It's we got some more stuff for that coming, and then we also have a couple more battle reports finishing up the initial campaign, and there are three, potentially four episodes out of the Rising Tensions box that'll probably find the table, but we want to finish the first part of the campaign first from the core box.
yeah, absolutely. I also have, let's see if I can get it. This entire stack
There you
right
go.
here, that's all BattleTech stuff that I need to do unboxings for.
Yeah. So those will be coming out too.
Yeah, those are going to be a little bit longer because Aces is on its way,
Yeah.
and those are going to be priority, but those are going to be fun too.
Right.
Okay, let's then talk about recently released. And we finally finished our This is Madness 2025 series. That took forever, mainly because of all the life stuff that you heard about at the beginning. Um, it is probably my one of my favorite things that we do on the channel, so I was really glad that we were able to do it again this year.
Mhm.
And we're already in the process of coming up with the rule set that we want to use for the next season.
Yeah.
There's just a couple rule tweaks. We tweak it every single time.
Yeah.
And do you want to dive into some of our ideas right now, or what do you want to do?
Let's hold that as a surprise because if we decide to change it, I don't want to have to push out uh,
That's fair.
a recall on that. But needless to say, we send that list out to our patrons who get first crack at making the lists. And that'll probably be within a week or two because we're right here at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And our plan is to start filming all of Madness in January. And then, akin to Hinterlands, where that's going to be January's releases. What we want to do with Madness is like what we've done in the past, which is every Friday, here's a new episode of Madness. So it should just be March and April that fill out the
Instead of
entire
going all the way into November.
November, right? Although some people enjoyed it watching Madness every 2 weeks. So, I mean, not a
Yeah.
bad thing, but we're not looking to do that this year. I really want to just get it all done at once. So.
Yeah. Um, so let's talk back on Madness this year. What are some of the things that you enjoyed about Madness this year?
Definitely the fleet ideas and concepts, because sometimes it's stuff that we wouldn't have thought of. We didn't have anything crazy like the four Quasar fleet from last year, 2024. Uh, I think once again it was the power of the ISD2 that kind of came in, and then you throw in LTTs and PDICs seems to be kind of the keys to victory here, if you will. Um, as usual, it's fun because we don't always fly the same fleets. But what I really liked this year was mixing up the commanders in that random draw. I enjoyed the editing part of the commander selection, which I tried to do in a Street Fighter-esque type
Yes.
manner. Found a good little mini theme to put in there as well, which I enjoyed. But that was fun. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I'm glad I won a couple games towards the end there, which at least that validated that I can occasionally beat John. Uh, but all in all, I agree with you. The thing I like about Madness is I don't have to think too hard about building a fleet, and it's more how does this one work and what's my interpretation. So half the fun of the people building the fleets is if I build a fleet, will John figure this out or will Ken figure it out? And do I tweak it a little bit to suit one of their play styles? So,
Yes. Sometimes we would get a fleet and I'm like, this is not my play style
no.
at all.
Mm-mm.
Um, I think, but I like the fleets. I don't think there was a single fleet that I disliked, but like, what fleet it was it? It was the one with the MC-80.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at it I'm like, this is Ken fleet. Straight off the bat, this has Ken cards in it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an uphill battle for me just by getting handed this fleet. And like when you use the fleet, you're like, do this, do that, and it like things were working better.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ugh, I'm just gonna power my way through with this fleet while I had it.
Mm-hmm.
But um, yeah, it's some fleets are better for some aren't. I really enjoyed our random commander because it made everyone's fleet building different because you had to take into account like what if I get stuck with Sloan? Do I just take the L? Or like could I optimize this fleet for the lucky chance like I get Akbar?
Yeah.
And
Which did
I
not get drawn.
did not get drawn. Neither of those commanders got drawn.
No,
I feel like we got more balanced fleets than something skewed.
I
Because
would agree.
sometimes you see that. Like, this isn't me talking down to anyone's fleets, so just take that as a note. But like a couple of years back, the hard cells and Patriot Fist type fleet
Oh,
that we
yeah.
had that won. Was that was that Irish? No,
No, no, no, that was an Irish Madcap.
someone else. But
He was the one where the first year had the big ISD that still
yes.
survived getting a couple structural damage or crit cards landing
This one
on.
I just landed on like all the obstacles, right?
Yeah,
Ugh, that was
yeah.
a bad match. Um, but like that fleet is super skewed
Hmm.
toward doing exactly what it needed to do.
Yeah,
So as soon as you figure out how it works, it's like super optimized to do it.
right.
I felt like there was nothing that we had that was super optimized, which is actually what we want for Madness. So
Right.
then things can go crazy.
Yeah, it's madness.
So yeah, exactly. And the random commanders worked, I think, really, really well. So we probably will be seeing something similar to that in Madness 2026. Hint, hint, hint. Um, Also, I just love playing at the 300 point
Yeah,
on 3 by 3. Like that is my favorite way to play Armada, I think.
I think for me, I would rather a 4x3 just to give you a little bit more space on the sides. But that's me, and no one makes 4x3 mats. But
Uh,
come on, John, I fly with MC30s and I like them, and I need just that little bit extra room to maneuver.
get in, kill, and get out. Like, I mean, most of the time, like, what's funny, I think in one of our matches, we're like, so we started on a 3 by 3, split that in half, and we're playing on
Like the one and a
like a
half height.
6 inch space that's going across the board because we're just gonna straight up joust across.
Yeah,
Which is the same thing that happens when you play a 6 by 4. So it
yeah.
will be the same thing that would happen if we were playing on a 3 by 4.
True, true. Although actually that was one of the funny comments we did get on we just well, so we're talking about the 6 year anniversary show being released. One comment from one of our patrons from early viewing has already mentioned that it looks so weird to see the full 6x3 versus the 3x3 we've gotten used to with Madness.
Yeah, I mean, it seriously was though.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, we have I'm gonna go up. Whoop. We have the setup in my basement that we use for streaming, like Adepticon and things
Mhm.
like that, and we're just leaving it set up now. Um, and depending on what type of game we're playing, we're like raising it and lowering it so we get better camera and lights right now. So right now it's really low, so we can get
Mhm.
really close to the BattleTech for Hinterlands because we're playing on a single map sheet. So
Mhm.
that's super tiny compared to that's like what, a foot and a half by like
I
two
I
feet or
I
something like
think they're
that.
22 by 18 or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's super small. So we were like right on top of it. So we could get the view proper. But then like we go to Armada and I have to like put it all the way up into
Up 2 feet and
um to get the proper thing. So like the size of the mat matters. I think 3 by 3 is really good because we
yeah.
can edit it decently.
Mhm.
So that was a lot of fun. So I enjoyed Madness, even though it took us like 6 months to film and almost a year to release. It was good to get it done. The other videos I think that we've released, you released some things on Rising Tensions if you wanted
Mhm.
to touch on that.
Well, the big things were the unboxing, which, we're one of a handful of people that have a copy. So everyone wants to know what's in there. Yeah, I think there's 3 copies currently roaming around. I have asked, for those that are wondering, all I've been told is it's coming out soon. I'm going to put the little trademark logo after that because that could mean a week. It could mean 2, 3 months. I don't know. I'm waiting for some answers from WizKids on that. As soon as we find out, we'll report that out to the general populace. But we wanted to showcase what was in the box so that everyone could see it. And the big item in the Rising Tensions box is the cloaking rules, which we just put a video out for the cloaking rules. Kind of already talked about that. And then what I want to do upcoming is a couple more videos highlighting a little bit more on the ships, starting with the Klingon ships, because they're a little different from the Federation and the Dominion ships. But I've got an idea for a series kind of talking about different ships, how they rank relative to some of the other ones, what they might be useful for. So stay tuned for that, because I'm kind of putting that together now. And hopefully that'll be a relatively soon release. But the other thing
Soon TM as well.
soon TM as well, although that's more likely to happen in the next 2 months as opposed to 3. The other thing that goes along with that is some of the 3D printing, like I said, that we've been doing for terrain pieces for that game. Just because, again, I like the way it looks when we can see the physical planets instead of a little objective marker. It just
Yeah.
visually it's more appealing for video. Gameplay it actually gets in the way, but
Yeah. Back to talking about 3D printing. When I got my 3D printer, I told Ken he needed a 3D printer, and he's
Mhm.
like, no. And then as soon as he got a 3D printing, he has not stopped 3D printing. Like he prints trays for all of his games now to organize it. Like if there's a possibility that a token can be 3D printed, Ken's 3D printing it. I just think it's really, really funny. I'm
I,
like, you could have been doing this for years, Ken.
the one thing that I 3D printed, and you're going to laugh, is I 3D printed this little key for your toothpaste so that I could squeeze the last little ounce of toothpaste out of the tube. So, I mean, it's yes, I've been 3D printing all kinds of weird and crazy stuff. Replacement parts for games that were broken. Yeah, it's just I've been having fun with it. So it's a cool thing, and I think the next thing I want to do is start building some stuff to be 3D printed.
Mm, I have no experience in that, but there's things that I would like to 3D print, and I'm like, I don't even know how to find something for
Mm.
that. So, um, that's pretty cool. So, going on the cloak, right?
Hmm.
I cannot wait to try that because cloaking is such a hard thing to do in a game,
Yeah.
right? And I think you and I have pretty much played every version of anything that is Star Trek related, ship related, that
Yeah.
has cloaking.
I would agree with that because the two older games would be the FASA and the Starfleet Battles games from the 70s and 80s. You have Attack Wing had its own version of cloaking. And then this one is just this is a really different concept, which actually the pieces were moved from the board, and you have one of about 48 places to go. So you have the square foot of the map that the Klingon or whatever ship's cloaked could be. And the way that you go about, do I have the marker close by? No, of course not, because that'd be too easy.
Of
Uh,
course.
but the way you go about disclosing where you could be, whether you're in one of the four quadrants or how far away you might be. Are you 1 to 3 inches? Are you 4 to 6 inches away from the marker? It's kind of cool. It's got this little sub hunt type mechanism into it, and I'm really looking forward to try that. And as I said in the video, John, you're a big fan of firing photon torpedoes or quantum torpedoes. Really, you like rolling the black dice.
I,
So
I don't judge between the two. Quantum are way better, but if I have a torpedo, they're being fired.
right. But I'm interested to see how it's going to work out with the number of torpedoes you put out on the table just to try and force me to decloak.
Yeah. What I was saying is, I don't remember how the older games do it. You just don't track it and you're just writing the grid numbers, right? And your moves.
That happened with one of the FASA games. Starfleet Battles, you knew where the opponent ship was, but your ability to hit basically doubled the range +5,
Mm,
which made it near impossible to hit. And you also had a couple modifiers there with electronic warfare, which yeah, you pretty much can park on like a Romulan bird, the bird of prey piece, which that'd be the Romulan warbird in Starfleet battle terms. And if I decloaked, I die. But
yeah.
if I didn't, you're never going to hit me. So it's like one of those game over, draw, call it kind of things. That said, is in terms of sheer firepower, I don't think I've seen a weapon in any of the newer Star Trek games that is as lethal as the Starfleet Battles plasma torpedo from that Romulan ship.
No.
Because Starfleet or Attack Wing, yeah, you roll a bunch of dice and you do a bunch of damage. You could not only tear down a shield, but do like strip weapons and kill entire engines on with a plasma torpedo. When you figure, give you rough numbers, right? A phaser is going to do roughly 6 points of damage, 4 to 6, depending on what type of phaser. The plasma torpedo, if you got hit at the right time, 40. So it's
Yeah.
a factor of almost 10 greater. So if you figure regular attack wing, you're rolling 3 dice, imagine rolling 30 damage dice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, what I was just comparing it to the different versions of Cloak, and I think this version of Cloak's really, really good.
I like it.
Um,
I really do.
that you can still move, but you're not there, but you
Right.
know where you are, but you're not really measuring that, and you're not like having to like track.
Right.
So like in the other version when you're like I'm gone and now you don't know where I'm at and I'm just going to be recording of all of my movement and then when
Mhm.
we come I go we're going to have to of course because it takes time because they don't care about time. All those old games need to just be computer games anyway.
Yeah, well,
Um
yeah.
but then you're like okay let's backtrack and while you're here and then I'm over here.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's why there was
And
numbers on each hex, John.
oh gosh,
There
yeah,
were a
no
couple other
thanks.
games where you would put three or four cloak markers down on, and you'd move all of them, and some were decoys, and you flip them, and I forget which game that was, but yeah, a whole bunch of different ways to cloak, and this is by far the most interesting, and it limits how you can move, which is another kind of a cool concept to it.
Yeah. So I'm really, really happy to give that a shot.
Mhm.
So, I think the only other thing that has been released, we released our Hinterlands intro, and we just
Intro,
kept
yeah.
it really, really simple. You guys get to see our mechs, you get to see our mercenaries. So, to give some background on mine, I came up with this joke, right? So, the joke of it is like you're a corporation or a business or a noble, and you want to buy the best mercenary force that you can buy, private investigationers. That would be the Pinkertons. But you can't buy the Pinkertons because you're broke. So instead, you hire the Purpletons, closely not affiliated with them. That's my mercenary group. Purpletons. They're purple mechs, and they're here to do whatever you're willing to pay them to do. And so I kind of thought of how like the Old West is, and the Pinkertons out there doing whatever mercenary type things they were doing. And so the Purpletons are going to be like this mercenary group that's going to the Hinterlands, and they're just trying to make some money. So I'm like, this is a great name for it. So that's how I came up with that. And then you guys see my camo. It's like a pink, black, purple camo, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. So um, that's my force, and they are going to be, I believe, because my contract's been announced already. They're on the planet just garrisoning it because hey, we just want to make money. We don't want to fight, but if we have to, we will. We're just here to make the money. So that's my force.
My force wants to make money too. It's just that we're a little bit more piratey about it, I guess. So,
Yeah. I,
uh, uh,
I think our story is that you were hired by a noble to disrupt my corporation that
pretty
I'm
much,
working
yeah.
for.
Yeah,
So,
it
and
worked
that's
well.
going to be the storyline that we're going to go with for our Hinterlands campaign. So,
Mhm.
check out the video, check out the paint schemes that are on there. So, um, there's that. And then I think the last video, this should come out after the fact, is our 6 year anniversary video. So, like we do in the video, big thank you to our families who have put up with both of us while we do this. Because it's been 6 years now, which is
Yeah.
insane to think about.
I did, when we started, John, did you think we'd still be doing this 6 years down the road?
Yes and no. Like, would I like to have done it for 6 years? Yes. Did I think like we would be where we are? Probably not.
Mhm.
So that's pretty cool. So we did this thank you episode, if you would. We released to our Patreon like what in the first 20 episodes, and those first 20 episodes are rough,
That's an
compared
understatement.
to the rest of them.
Mhm.
What 20 out of the first like 20 episodes would you like us to redo? And they picked what, episode 10 or something like
So
that.
10. Mhm.
And it was a match that I'm Sato and you are Riken.
Mhm.
And we just decided to do it. We were debating on like, could we recreate the list and make them different? And we both decided to just make the list legal.
Yeah, and I think what it was, I needed to change Tendum to Dagger Squadron. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the time there was no ace limit.
Right.
Which is kind of cool to see like the different versions
Mhm.
there was of Armada. And for me, my fleet was legal because I knew what was coming. Ken didn't know I knew what was coming yet. So if you actually look at a lot of my fleets through um, the beginning, I was already doing playtesting for like 1.5 and Clone Wars and things like that. So I knew what the rules were changing, and like I was already building fleets. Like I'm not going to use multiple squadrons because that's just going to hurt me as a player in the future.
Mhm.
So most of my fleets don't have like infinite aces anymore. So that fleet, like I didn't change anything on it. It was exactly how it was. Um, and it was a fun match.
Yeah. There were no PDICs and there was no LTTs. A lot of no rerolls in that game.
A lot of rerolls needed to happen though.
Yes. Yes.
Um, Mine had the ability to on the hammerheads to
The Task
use
Force Organa. Yeah.
Task Force Organa, but it didn't really matter. Especially with Sato, like you roll a hit and you're like, I'll just leave it a hit. You have evade, so you're gonna make me re-roll anyway, so I don't really
Right.
care. Um, but like our other ships were like, we need re-rolls. Don't have them.
Oop.
But that was fun to play. It's been a long time since we've played a full-size map, and that's
Yeah.
what the person commenting on it had, mentioned. We already talked about that. So that was weird after like almost a year of doing
Yeah.
like
I
more of
think the last
madness
time
stuff.
we played a full-size game was probably last November.
Crazy, right?
Actually, I know I've played a few like at the local store, and then I did the one at Adepticon with Mars. But that was the last time I played a full, and even that was March, so that was a long
Yeah,
time ago.
yeah. I just haven't been able to get out. I basically only play with games with you.
Yeah,
Um, so I haven't. And then like Adepticon, I had just switched jobs, so I had no PTO, and so I like was only able to go on the days that I had off, which was
yeah,
basically the last day.
right.
And then we had the concert. I forgot about that. Um,
Mm,
I don't know how if I've really. I think I talked about it during the live
you
stream,
did.
but
You did.
my wife's favorite band is brand new, and they broke up like years ago. And she always said that if they ever get back together again for anything, that she's dropping whatever she has to go to the concert. And I'm like, I'll go with you. Of course, they announced that it's going to be the exact same day as Adepticon.
Yeah.
So that was a exhausting, and it was only like three shows.
Hmm.
They announced it and were like, we're doing three shows and nothing else. And we're like, are they going to do a tour after this? And she's like, no chances. We're just going. So it was like, I helped you set up. I worked. And then we did a fly in the day of the concert, went to the concert, went to the hotel, slept, got on a plane, flew back. I got off the plane, went, her family picked her up from the airport. I left her at the airport. Peace, bye. I got to drive to Milwaukee
Yeah.
now. And I went from Midway Airport straight to Milwaukee to get on for the very last game. I'm
And
so
I think
tired.
you showed up, what, like 5 minutes before we started the final game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Then you took everything down and left.
yeah. And I'm like, I'm out. Bye. Peace. Um, so I was at Adepticon, but was I?
Yeah. You were in spirit, and when they were showing older episodes on the big screens by where you could eat in the food court, I mean, so you were there that way too.
That's fair. I didn't see any of that because I really wasn't there. But yeah, so that's fun.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's it for past releases, upcoming releases, so you guys kind of have an idea of what's going on. We talked about how busy hobby stuff is going. Normally in the future, we'll have something to
Hmm.
talk about. We were just talking about a lot of different things because we haven't really talked to you guys about anything that we're doing recently. So if you have episode ideas, throw it out there. Um, if you have any questions or comments or literally anything, just put it in the comments and we'll address it. You know how YouTube works. So yeah,
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I think this is a good first show for everyone to see. Again, kind of a catch up on you and me because it's been a while since we really had an opportunity to tell people what we've been doing outside of just whatever battle we're filming. So thanks everyone for listening in or watching or both, depending on how you're doing this. But this is fun. We'll be doing this again, and hopefully this becomes a monthly thing.
yeah, that's kind of our plan, month-ish.
Yeah,
So
your take. So, so John, you got anything else you want to add in before we sign off?
no, I don't think so. Super excited about ASUS, so you'll be seeing a lot of content on that. Post it in our Discord if you're painting mechs
Yeah.
or anything really.
So
So.
Cool. All right. Now, in that case, I think that kind of wraps everything up. So until next time, I'm Ken,
I'm John.
and you've been watching or listening to the Ion Radio Show.